listener, you're still tuned to the World Service Voice of Indonesia, and today we'll be talking about earthquake potential and also how to mitigate it personally. And you can listen to this on voinews.id and the application RRI Digital. And today, joining with us on Zoom connection, we have the seismologist and also head of Earthquake Data Center at the Meteorology, Climatology and Geophysics Agency with Dr. Pepen. Good morning, Pak Pepen.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us in such a short notice. And we would like to know, do you have the data about the recent earthquakes in Indonesia? Because I use the application BMKG, Info BMKG, and I get a lot of updates about the earthquakes in Indonesia.
Right. So in the past week, a total of 374 earthquakes occurred across Indonesia.
Around 300 only in the last week?
Yeah.
Okay. And as we know that, it's not really devastating. The damage is quite low, is it, sir?
Yes. The strongest earthquake occurred at a magnitude of 6.0.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's occurred in the Banda Sea.
Okay, and we would like to know, how can that many earthquakes happen in Indonesia?
Right. So Indonesia has one of the highest seismic hazard of any country in the world. The highly complex tectonic settings in this region, resulting from the collision of the Indo-Australian and Eurasian plates and the interaction of the Pacific and Philippine Sea plates. That's why the hues of the earthquakes has occurred in Indonesia. And as you know, in 2017, the National Centers for Earthquake Studies of Indonesia, PUSGAN, has recognized 13 megathrust segments throughout Indonesia, from West Sumatra, South Java, Bali, Nusa Tenggara, North Sulawesi and Molucca, and North Papua. And Indonesia has 295 active faults. So I think this year will be increased is because we have more study about active faults, not only from seismology, but also from geology and geodesy approaches.
Okay, as we know that there isn't yet any technology to detect or even to predict when an earthquake would be happening, but this study that you mentioned, how helpful it will be to prevent damages and also casualties.
Yeah, so currently BMKG have 355 seismic stations throughout Indonesia. So we ensure that every single earthquake that occurred in Indonesia will be monitored by BMKG. So BMKG detects earthquakes through network throughout Indonesia, and when an earthquake occurs, the sensors, then we call seismometers, record the vibration of seismic wave. Then the data is then transmits to BMKG monitoring sensors in Jakarta using communication systems. And then in Jakarta, the earthquake analyze, then review this earthquake consists of epicenter, depth, magnitudes, and fault types. And this information disseminated to public by stakeholders, various channels such as TV, radio, and mobile apps.
And when an earthquake happens until it can reach the people, for example, me using Info BMKG application, how fast is it to reach me?
I think it's less than 3 minutes.
Less than 3 minutes, so it's that quick. So make sure that if you happen to be in Indonesia, download the application Info BMKG to know the updates about, especially related to earthquakes. And you said that Indonesia have certain characteristics that can be a factor to so many earthquakes in Indonesia. And we know that recently the Myanmar and Thailand earthquake, while the whole world is quite sad about it, but is there any differences between the earthquake in here and in Myanmar and Thailand?
Right, so basically earthquakes in Myanmar and Indonesia are both caused by tectonic activity, but they occur in different geological settings. and have different characteristics, impacts, and associated risk.
I see. Okay, and I got an additional question, sir, from the newsroom. So, let's go back about the technology that detects and warns about the earthquake. Can this technology also reach people in remote areas?
Of course, currently we have a lot of dissemination systems that we call is new generation of tsunami early warning systems. So by this system, we ensure this information can reach people to the remote area.
And let's talk about the mitigation. Should there be earthquake when people are visiting in Indonesia? Indonesia is, of course, we have a lot of earthquakes, but mostly safe. But if that happens, any tips for the people?
All right. So during an earthquake, the most important thing is to stay calm and act quickly to protect yourself. If you are in windows, for instance, immediately drop to the ground. Stay away from windows, mirrors, glass, and heavy furniture that could fall. And if you are inside a high-rise building, remain where you are. Do not use elevators and move away from windows and exterior walls. And if you are near the coast and feel a strong or long-lasting earthquake, evacuate to higher ground immediately after the shaking stops, as it may be a sign of an impending tsunami. Do not wait for official warnings. Move quickly and stay away from the shore until authorities declare it safe. So it's several tips for people.
Okay, so that's the tips for people if you're visiting Indonesia and there should be any kind of earthquake. And if you are around the coastal area, you can see a lot of signage where to go, especially during tsunami, and make sure to pay attention to those signs and you will be safe. Okay, thank you very much, Pak Pepen, for joining us this morning. Have a good day.
Thank you.
All right, listener, that is our short talk about the earthquake in Indonesia. We have a lot of earthquakes and we know the factors, mostly quite safe, but we got also very useful tips to do when it happens. And we have just talked with the seismologist and also the head of the Indonesia Meteorology, Climatology, and Geophysics Agency's Earthquake Data Center with Dr. Pepen Supendi. And you can listen again to this talk on our YouTube channel, VOI Official.
Voice of Indonesia.